Welcome to a brand new episode of Jonathan's Court. Today I'm super excited to bring you a new episode inside of my parents' house with my little brother Mason on the channel today and original creator content, Zach Pate. So super excited to bring you guys a new video. Kind of weird to say this is my parents' house. You know, as you guys know, I'm living on my own now. So this little guy here, Mason, you've been on a few videos, not too many, but why don't you, kind of tell the people, what's going on in your life right now? Like, what are you up to?
I'm working at a truck wash, and I start school on the 18th to go to Ivy Tech in Columbus.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to tell them one of your biggest accomplishments in your life that, like, you just got out of?
I just graduated at Basic and AIT.
That's awesome. And where were you stationed?
I was at Fort Lee, Virginia for AIT.
Awesome. That's super exciting. Super, really cool. First one in our family to do that. So congratulations to awesome. So first one in my family to graduate college. So a lot of first time things going on and things like that. So we're super excited to see new things going on. But Zach, you were on the last podcast. And so what have you been up to since then?
We're just grinding, bro. Training, going home, resting, recovering, and repeating it.
Absolutely. So there is a new video going to be posted tomorrow. It's private right now, but gonna probably upload it about like 10 a.m. or something of Zach doing some training session. Like you said, you're going hard, so we want to post that. Let you guys see his journey on everything that he's doing. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about the NBA, the free agency that's going on. It started a few days ago, and a lot of things have been going on. A lot of things have just been kind of crazy. The NBA just keeps getting more exciting every single year. So I'm going to ask you guys, how you kind of feel about it, what you think. So to kind of start it off, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls. So obviously, the Chicago Bulls haven't been like too good since Derrick Rose and things like that. And so now they still have Zach LaVine. They go out and sign Lonzo Ball. Mm-hmm. And so I know that was kind of rumored during the offseason they were going to get him. They finally got him. And then they went and traded for DeMar DeRozan. So now you kind of got a big three. Kind of really a big four with big three. So LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Vukovic, because rumors are reported that Lauri Markkanen is on his way out. He wants a fresh start. He doesn't want to be there no more. So how do you guys see the Chicago Bulls? Do you see them making the playoffs this year, adding Lamar or Lonzo? I said Lamar. And DeMar DeRozan. So how do you guys see the Chicago Bulls doing this season? We'll start with you, Mason.
I think they'll do a little bit better than what they did last year. They'll at least make the playoffs. I believe they will, with at least those three. Lonzo Ball, not so much, but with DeMar DeRozan, that'll help him.
How old is DeRozan?
He's not 30 yet, is he?
I'm pretty sure he's 30. I know he's 28, 30 or something like that. I know he's up there in age.
He could probably have a really good scoring year this year. Maybe like 24 points a game, 26, somewhere around there. It's like a good system for him.
So do you think that they will make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs. They might win a series, but they're not gonna.
He's 32.
Yeah, I feel like he can still have a pretty good scoring year for him. Like be that like scoring wing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lonzo's a playmaker. Yeah, they'll do good. They'll make the playoffs, but they're not gonna like make the conference finals or anything like that.
Okay. So kind of my opinion on that is I think Lonzo is a huge addition. I know, Joey, you've been talking out there how you don't like Lonzo, you're not hype on him. It sounds like, Mason, you're not too hype on Lonzo
No.
either as well. I've kind of been turning into a Lonzo fan because he's kind of fixed his shot. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think that he's improved. He brings defense with you. He brings passing with you as well. I see him averaging at least 8 assists per game during the season.
You think he'll make an all-defensive team?
I think he definitely can. With DeMar DeRozan, that's another scoring option. Opens up the floor. What it really does is it gets Zach LaVine to have one-on-one more time, which I feel like a lot, like even with Lauri and stuff. And they got Vukovic towards the end of the season last year. LaVine's playing double teams, man. People are coming over, but okay, you got Lonzo Ball, so it's like, okay, I can't sag off too much. Okay, oh shoot, DeMar DeRozan, oh shit, well, I can't leave him open. Yeah. So it creates a lot more space and things like that. So it's really nice to see Lonzo there and see DeMar DeRozan. So I think they make the playoffs, and I'm gonna say this. I think they get past the first round. I don't know how far they're gonna get. Like you said, I don't know if they're gonna make it out of the East. Things like that. Because the Bucks won the championship. They still have their big three intact and things like that. And so super excited to see what they do. But I definitely see them going on to the first round. So if you guys see you guys can't see it, but we're watching some UFC fights tonight. So we're gonna make another podcast after this and talk a little bit about the UFC and the fights that are going on tonight and whatnot. Zach will be able to kind of lead in that more in because he knows a lot more about that. So that's the first team that we kind of are going to start off with, who now have created a big three. And let's go to the Miami Heat. Have you guys heard about what happened in the Miami Heat? So you see that they got Kyle Lowry.
And they have Jimmy Butler still.
And he just signed like a 4-year deal.
Yep,
I know something like
he's still
that. I know it's weird. Let's see.
Rachel Nichols' favorite NBA player.
Yes. Yes, it is. It was on here. But anyways, so they got Jimmy Butler. They got Bam Adebayo still. And then, did they sign anybody else?
I didn't even know they got Kyle Lowry.
I did see they got Kyle. I don't know who else they got.
That's news to me.
So that's their big three right there. So that's their big three. So Zach, you didn't know about that. So what are your thoughts on that now? Because Kyle Lowry didn't play too much last season. I know he's kind of injured a little bit, but now he's with the Heat. What do you see the Heat doing, man? And they were the finals not last year, but the year before. Then they got booted out first round, swept. So how much does Kyle Lowry help that team? Yeah, Jimmy Butler signed a 4-year deal, but go ahead.
I don't know how much. I mean, I know Kyle Lowry's like a quality point guard in the NBA, but like, they'll probably lose in the first round again. It's probably not going to change much. Like in the grand scheme of things, they might win more games in the regular season, but I don't know. I feel like he's kind of on the downside of his career, and there's just too many good teams in the East for Miami to make it out.
A lot of good teams in the East, for sure, especially in the West as well. What do you think, Mason? I mean, because you said you saw the news, so how does that kind of make you feel?
Jimmy Butler, he didn't do too bad last year, and he was basically just by himself for the most part. And then now you got Kyle Lowry, and he's going to probably get open around the three and be able to just shoot threes for him like he did with DeRozan, because DeRozan was always the one driving, and he was the one that always stayed back. And so I feel like it'll be the same thing when he goes to the Bulls and they play, because Jimmy Butler's going to be the one doing all the driving, and then Kyle Lowry's going to stay back and just shoot threes. So I think that'll help. Now they have a decent shooter. Instead of just Jimmy Butler taking most of the shots all game.
For sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you have a great point with that. And so, like you said, he can shoot the three. Jimmy Butler. He's more of like, he doesn't necessarily have to have the ball in his hand. So like he's a very versatile player. He can play off ball. I love Bam Adebayo. I love that big man as a center. I think he's one of the best pick and roll centers that we have in this league right now, besides AD. But I definitely believe I was watching the U.S. Olympic gold game, and just to see like Bam, just set a screen for Kevin Durant, get it popped out to him or whoever it was, and he knocked down like, it wasn't in a row, but I know like he had a mid-range early in the game, and then like 2 or 3 minutes later he had another one. I was like, man, like this guy's consistent, like he knows what he's doing. So I see the Miami Heat definitely making the playoffs as well this year. I mean, obviously, every single round I want like every single person to win the first round, but like it's like really hard because not everybody can win.
Exactly.
But I could see them. Like I said, they lost in the first round. They have something to prove. They went out and got Kyle Lowry. So I think it'd be cool to see Bulls, Heat first round. I think that would be a great first round. I think that might be the best first round matchup that we see, just because it's
two
so
new teams.
it's gonna be so competitive and things like that.
Yeah, I think
And it'd be old teammate versus old teammate.
in the
would be.
7-game series, I'd say Miami would win.
Yeah, I
Miami
feel like
would.
Jimmy Butler.
Like probably 4-1, 4-2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that could be that. Then it could go 4-3. Just depending on how better Zach LaVine is. Does Lonzo step up with the experience that he's got? So, very exciting teams, very exciting things going on. So it's the second big three, and then the next big three that we have isn't really a new one, but you still have Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. How do you guys feel about that team? So, they kind of, got injured a little bit. Katie, coming off.
That's the only reason they lost in the playoffs was because they were injured. And
So, like,
the final game that they lost, they only had KD playing. Harden kind of played, but he only played, I want to say, the third quarter and a little bit of the first. He barely played at all.
I know he was more of a kind of a distraction to be like, look, KD's going to be taking our shots, but look, you still got to guard James Harden because he's one of the best players.
He's a good all-around player.
If they stay healthy, they're a lock for the finals. If
Yeah.
they're healthy, there's no other team that can beat them in the East.
I agree with you there.
I'm not saying they're a lock to win the finals, but there's no other team in the East. If they're healthy, they can beat them in a 7-game series. And,
Okay.
I mean, that's easy, though. they're a lot to make it to the finals if they're healthy.
All right, and I kind of feel that way as well because I had them winning the finals. Actually, I predicted that last year. You could have asked anybody. I said, look, as soon as the Nets got Kyrie, and, because they already getting Kevin Durant, I was like, they're going to the finals. Excuse me, but I also thought that they were going to win the finals. Not only were they going to go, but I thought they were going to win. And I was like, and then they got James Harden. I was like, well, shoot, man, like there's no way they're going to lose. But then they got hurt. That was the number one thing that everyone talked about. They get hurt. They're not gonna make it, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You had Kevin Durant taking on the whole Bucks team, and so he forced them to game 7?
6. I think
But
it was
they
only
were
6.
Game 6, okay.
They were blowing them out before they got hurt. They were embarrassing the Bucks. They were about to sweep them.
So
And now they're the champions, which no take away from the Bucks, but they were about to get freaking mollywopped.
So I mean, it's a different story when you have all healthy players, and so I think that's a great big three. So the reason why I'm bringing all these big threes up is because we're going to rank them here in a second on from first to 5, 1 to 5, and then so the other big three that I saw was so the Bucks. So you got Drew Holiday still, you got Giannis obviously, and you got Chris Middleton. How do you guys feel about that core? So obviously they just won the NBA Finals. Yes, they did make it past the Nets because they were hurt. But how much do you think that's a good big three? Do you think that's still good enough to get you in the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
I think they need
Because
some.
the team they beat in the finals was also probably about to lose. The Suns.
They won due to injury.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they got that far.
That's the only reason they made it to the finals. I mean, I'm saying the only reason, but that very much
Really
helped
helped them
them
a
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
I think they just need someone better than Drew Holiday for a big three. Like Chris Middleton, he's big. He's been there the whole time with Giannis. But Giannis is just the main one they've got, considering he was scoring 50 points the entire finals.
I don't think he scored 50.
He was scoring at least 40 or more.
Yeah, he was going 40
The entire
more. I know
final
game
series.
6 he had 50 points, so that was one of the craziest closeout games ever. But honestly, Mason, I'm going to have to disagree with you, man. I said it in the other podcast, Drew Holiday was the reason why they won. Drew Holiday was the reason. Okay, yes, Giannis is the reason, but Drew Holiday was that other factor. Yes, Chris Middleton, he's kind of streaky. He's not, not really sure when he's going to show up, what quarter or not. But Drew Holiday locked down Chris Paul. Chris Paul was having turnovers at that late game. Drew Holiday was the one who stripped Devin Booker out to win that final game to pass it down to Giannis. Chris Paul fouls him when he dunks it. Drew Holiday was the reason and I'll stand by that. Drew Holiday stepped up and did what he had to do. He played with AD. I know how good he can be, and now he's an NBA champion. So I think that the Bucks have what it takes to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Drew Holiday played a major factor in winning a 7-game series against the Phoenix Suns. But I'm saying, it happened in the finals. But if everybody's healthy, are the Phoenix Suns the best team in the West? Probably
It's
not.
true.
Probably
It's
not.
true.
So
So it's
Drew
like, okay, who
Holiday's
does it
great.
are then?
He's great, but if you compare him to the other big threes, like you're saying, in the East, Harden,
And Chris Paul's also 36.
there's no comparison. I feel.
Yeah, but Chris Paul's one of the greatest point guards of all time. Everyone says that he's top 5 if he won. If he
But
won a
he's
ring
about
this
to
year.
retire.
No, he's playing.
He signed a
again.
1-year deal.
Yeah, he wants to keep going. He was like, I'm grinding. I remember post-game interview. He was like, I'm playing. Like, I'm ready for this. Like, he's not giving up. Kind of a side note a little bit. I don't see the Suns going back to the NBA Finals because of just everyone else getting healthy and things like that. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that. But, I definitely see your point, Zach. So, I mean, maybe they don't make it to the Finals. You know what I'm saying? With the Nets being healthy. But, that's just kind of my opinion on it. And then so
We'll see. I mean, they could prove me wrong. They could make it back.
Exactly. So the last big three I want to talk about is the LA Lakers. So they went out and got Russell Westbrook. For being honest, from an AD fan, from Laker fan now since AD's there, that's not the player I wanted. I wanted Chris Paul.
You want a CP3?
Yes. So I wanted CP3 because he's a better point guard. He has more knowledge. Okay, yeah, you have Russell Westbrook. He's a freak. He's gonna just do what he can to drive the rim. Okay, but you were leaving Russell Westbrook open. He's not a shooter. I remember when they played the Rockets in the finals 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You got to surround LeBron with shooters and things like that. Okay, LeBron, he's becoming less ball dominant, giving it to AD and whatnot. But Russ is a ball dominant player. You can't have all ball dominant players and expect them just to mesh well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think Westbrook was the greatest pickup, but I'll take it though. He is one of the greatest point guards in
Their
the league.
entire starting lineup is 32 years and older. Their
Which-
entire lineup.
which
That's
is
a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
and so exactly I was gonna bring
They
that
just
up.
signed 5 players 36 or older.
And I'm glad you brought that up. And I feel like LA is one of those destinations where it's like we want to win now. Yeah, Kobe was there for a while, and he went through a couple seasons, but then like they signed players. They were kind of older. Pau Gasol when they won back in 2010, or 9 in 2010, and then with LeBron there, they were able to win it in the bubble, and so now like they sign these players that are like 36 years old and whatnot. Dwight Howard.
You got Carmelo.
Yeah, Melo. He's huge. So. Just like those players being old, like, okay, is this just like a 1-year thing where like, okay, now you got to start like fresh, because those players aren't probably going to resign; they're going to retire soon because, like you said, they're getting older. So the big three with Russell, LeBron, and AD. How do you guys feel about that? I guess I'll stop talking. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, remember when Brooklyn signed? They made the trade for Paul Pierce, covering out like older players, thinking that they could win now. It could backfire on them like that, where their best seasons were behind them, and you're gonna find that out this upcoming season where they pay them all this money and they don't deliver.
Yeah.
I mean, or Melo could finally get his ring. He could provide like good scoring on a championship team, finally get a championship. I mean, honestly, I feel like it has potential to be a mediocre season for the Lakers. Honestly, because Russell Westbrook, like you said, he might not fit in well with the system. If you have 3, I guess LeBron's not ball dominant. He can.
He used to be, but now, like, you can tell he's not being so much as
if 2 of your best players are ball dominant and there's only 1 ball, like somebody's gonna have to stand in the corner. So.
And I know that was a not an issue, but like something that might come up when Kyrie signed Kevin Durant, James Harden, and you're like, okay, these are ball dominant players. How are they going to play? And you saw that they play. Like, who's going to take the last shot and whatnot? But they played pretty well to like get the ball up to pass and whatnot. So, is it going to be like that with the Lakers? Like, how is that going to go?
Well,
there's a lot of big questions.
They're also really old, so I feel like at least 1 or 2 of them is going to get injured this season. I feel like that's a good chance of happening with them being all that old together.
Especially with load management, how LeBron likes to take his rest,
It's going to make them have to play more.
It is. AD's kind of injury prone a little bit, unfortunately. So
Because wasn't he the one that was injured in the playoffs?
yeah, he pulled his groin.
Yeah.
Also, it's a different dynamic. Like you were talking about how Harden, Kyrie, and KD had to figure out, who's going to take the last shot. No, I mean, not really. They all know who's going to take the last shot.
They give it to KD.
You know what I mean?
Kevin Durant's going to take
Well,
it.
you're on the Lakers.
I mean, he was missing them, but they were giving it to him.
Like, I mean, he was hitting some shots.
He wasn't. His foot stays behind the line. They win.
The game that he
They're-
lost,
they're winning.
He missed it. He
So-
should have won that.
With the
But
Lakers,
he played every minute though.
I
For
know.
Lakers, it's a different dynamic though. I feel like they don't have that like you know what I mean, that scoring like for sure. Like KD's like a for sure
Score, yeah.
going to him last bucket. I mean, the Lakers just like Russ could take it, but he's gonna know to miss him.
I feel like LeBron's got to be that player. Like even though he's older, I was like it's LeBron. Like everyone argues, is he the GOAT and things like that. If that's the case, give him the ball.
Yeah,
Give him the ball.
He's gonna have to put up another MVP caliber season, and eventually he's gonna stop doing that. Eventually he's gonna be too. You know what I'm saying? The age is gonna catch up to him.
He wants to play until his son's in the league.
Man,
At what level,
that's
though?
rumored.
At what
That's,
level is he gonna be
That's
able
his
to-
goal.
that's true though.
He'll
Is
be
it
40.
okay? So is he just gonna be mediocre and be like, okay, like hey, I play against my son, or is he gonna be on the same team as when his son comes in? Like
keep putting up MVP numbers till he's 39, 40.
age is a factor. Yeah, you spend $1 million a year on your body, but still, it's like you guys are saying, they're old, they're getting older, so that's the biggest question. Can the Lakers stay healthy, and will age definitely play a factor? So if you guys had to rank these, these 5 big threes, who would you put first? Like who would you put second?
With them all being healthy and everything.
Yeah, everyone fully
KD,
healthy.
KD, Harden, and Kyrie's 1.
1, okay.
2, I got LeBron, Russ, and AD. You mentioned Chicago and Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
and who else was
And
The
the
Bulls. Yeah, he the Bulls.
it? Okay, I got Miami 3, Milwaukee 4, and Chicago 5.
What do you think, Mason?
I
Do you
got
have
the
to say?
Nets first, the Lakers second, the Bucks third, and then I have the Heat and the Bulls.
So just swap the Bucks and Heat.
Okay. I definitely have to put the Nets first, just because we just all know that with those three caliber players, like, it's nothing less of like they should be winning. So then number 1, I'm going to put the Lakers number 2. I'm going to put the Bucks number 3 because I do believe in Joe Holiday. I'm going to have to put the Bulls at 4 and the Heat at 5.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the Bulls at 4 because I believe in them. It might take a season or 2. You know what I'm saying? Not just because you sign these players doesn't mean okay, one season we're going to win a chip. If that happens, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you 100% completed your goal and did everything you're supposed to do, but that's usually realistically not going to happen.
Right.
So those are our top 5. How we're going to rank them. You guys comment below what you guys think and the order that you guys think. So the next thing we're going to talk about a little bit is USA men's basketball. So in the Olympics, every single year, or not every single year, but every 4 years, we play basketball. That has been an Olympic sport for so long. Everyone says that if the USA basketball team is not going to win gold, it's a failure. The season, like the Olympics, like what are we doing? Like, oh, we got a silver. Okay, silver's cool, like it's second, but we should automatically always be winning gold. But the best players in the world that we have, if we don't win gold, we came up short.
But we also have
So
other players that play in the NBA on the other teams.
Yes, absolutely.
So like Luka, if they would have won, they would have played the USA for gold.
Exactly. So that's kind of my question. How do you guys feel? What do you think? Because I heard this like on another radio talk show, and they were like, one was like, if they don't win, then like I'm disappointed, I'm mad. But then other people were saying, well, if they don't win, that's okay because they're just there. Like, I mean, yeah, they're representing our country, but like they just came from an NBA season.
Yeah.
And they're like, no break, no nothing, just going right into it. So, like, what is your guys' opinion? Like, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about USA basketball?
Well, honestly, like, I feel bad. Like, honestly, at this point, I feel like I'm a little bit of a casual fan for the NBA. I mean, I just be watching fights, just be training every day, sometimes twice a day. So I didn't actually watch any of the Olympics this year, Olympic games. I heard KD was like chirping at some people on Twitter because they were talking trash.
Chirpin, did you know he's the only player to average 28 points per game more in the Olympics? He's the only
So
one.
he carried the USA team to the gold
He
medal?
carried them. He has the
Yeah.
most points in the Olympics. Like, he's like number 1 in a lot of stats.
I mean, that solidifies himself even more. But like he said, you already know who he is. You know who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of it. I saw that there were some like second tier players that they put on there, that some people were saying like, why aren't we taking
Like Trey Young could have been over there.
Yeah.
And
I
the
saw
guy,
that.
the coach that was the coach for choosing the player said, no, I don't want you. And chose like a second-year player to play over Trey Young.
I know they got JaVale McGee because Kevin Love pulled out and things like that.
Yeah.
So, is it a failure? Is it a disappointment if they don't win gold?
No, I don't think it should matter as long as they're over there just having fun. Yeah, it's a competition to win gold, but it's okay if other people win gold. USA basically wins gold for almost everything, so it doesn't really matter.
But I feel like that's why they have to, because, or at least in basketball,
The bar sets so high.
always do. Yeah. So if they start losing, then it's like, what changed? Like, do you not have the best players anymore? Like,
I mean, they lost their first game.
They lost their first 2 expedition games. One was actually versus France that they played for the gold. And they had Rudy Gobert there. They had Evan Fournier, and they had Nicholas Batum. Nicholas Batum actually blocked Luka on the game-winning shot on the layup. Blocked him to go to the gold game. So I mean, I know a lot of people think, kind of how you said, yeah, they're just there to have fun. Like, they're representing our country. Like, they're having fun. But a lot of people are like, look, you're representing my country. I need you to do the best that you possibly can. You are representing everything that you're doing right now represents me. It's kind of basically like when you yell at someone through the TV and you're like on football on Sunday and you're like, run the ball, like do something pass. Like, it's like, but they can't hear you. Like, they're doing their thing. They're playing at the highest level possible, but then you're also playing against other high level players, just like you said. There are other NBA players
Yeah, exactly.
playing for their country. So, I think, people play harder. Like, I know Luka was playing harder. He dropped a triple-double last time. Like,
that's all he was going on. I saw his
Yeah,
highlights.
he was doing pretty good.
and so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're playing probably harder than we are. Like, not because, they're just playing harder. But it means more to them in their country than like. I mean, it still means a lot to us, but it's just that we win every year. So it's like, a gold medal is a gold medal.
Yeah.
To them, they never won a gold medal, so they have more to like. They're fighting for.
Because there's pro players like on those teams that aren't in the NBA, and they're like you said, trying to prove themselves. Because like these NBA players, like they've pretty much already solidified their spot in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting paid like that. So those other players, like there's Luka's representing his country. Almost all his teammates aren't in the NBA. They're like playing pro there, so they're trying to prove themselves and, like you said, represent their country.
And so a good point of what Lucas said is he'd rather win gold medal for his country than ever win an NBA championship. That means more to him to win a gold medal for his country.
You feel like that was the PC, the right thing to say?
I don't think it was the right thing to say because he is in the NBA.
He said, yeah, but
he said playing ball in his country.
he said why not both or something like that.
Why not both? And he was like, it's easier to play there than it is in the NBA. Or maybe it was
I
vice
think he
versa.
said easier in the NBA.
Oh yeah, he said it was easier in the NBA. Okay, yeah. Like I said, he hasn't said it in a long time, so I mixed that up a little bit. But like that's the thing, like I just said, he means so much more to him to win a gold medal than it does to win a Larry O'Brien trophy.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Now that you're saying it, it's making sense because for him to take a team full of non-NBA players and beat the best American NBA players that we have to offer would mean more than just his NBA team being another NBA team to win championships.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I get that. That's a good point.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I think the USA competes at the highest level, and I mean they are favored to win every year because we do have the best basketball players in the world. But I was telling a lot of people, it's like, hey, you can go to an AAU like open gym and put the best players on a team, but you may win every game. But once, say you lose a game,
You might.
just because you put all the best players on the same team doesn't mean you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. I just know that was kind of debate. So I guess just had to ask you guys a few questions about that and whatnot, but. That's going to wrap up our segment here with basketball. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming on the channel. We are going to wrap this up and then talk about UFC a little bit. The fights are going on. I think the main event's about to come on, so that's like really cool. So, has this video hopefully uploaded tomorrow or the next day. Mason, Aiden, and I are going golfing tomorrow, so there will also be new golfing videos. So there are new videos coming your way. Thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe and comment below.
Peace.